Hi everybody, welcome to the 7th episode of World Cup edition Football Unplanned podcast. My name is Patrick and with me is, as always, Serjan.
Hi guys, glad to have you back, and today's topic is Group G. And in Group G we have Brazil, Cameroon, Switzerland and Serbia.
And we're gonna start with, in our opinion, best team in this group, which is Brazil, 5 times world champions. First gold medal in 1958, then 1962, 70, 94 and last one in 2002, so 20 years ago. But let's also not forget about the greatest players that came from Brazil, which was of course Pelé. Then we had Rivaldo, Romario, Zico, we had Socrates, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and now we have Neymar.
He has been playing for their national team in already 2 World Cups. He played fantastic in the 2014 World Cup until that injury against Colombia that led Brazil to a catastrophic defeat against Germany in the semi-finals. Neymar is again this season playing really good football for Paris Saint-Germain. He already has 11 goals in Ligue 1, and despite all of the reported problems with chemistry in Paris Saint-Germain squad, they are still first, and Neymar is playing his best football for some time.
And for the young stars in Brazil, we surely need to mention Vinicius, the Real Madrid star. His last season was the breakout one. In 35 matches he scored 17 times, and that one time in a Champions League final that gave Real Madrid another Champions League trophy. In this season he played 14 times and scored 6 goals, but I think the best is still in front of him, and let's all hope it's gonna be in a World Cup.
Brazil team was pretty much certain in a lot of areas, but they still ended up with few surprises. One of the people who missed out on the championship was Roberto Firmino, who is playing really good for Liverpool this year, and also Felipe Coutinho. Though per Brazilian media, the biggest star that is missing is Gabriel Barbosa. He is playing for Flamengo in Brazilian league and he is scoring a lot of goals, but his time in Europe wasn't that successful. But I guess he has a good PR in Brazilian media.
Also to mention a little fun fact, Brazil was 2 times World Cup host, first time in 50s and then in 2014, and after their biggest loss versus Germany in semi-final, they decided that they will never again become a host of next World Cup. I hope that maybe this time they will maybe win, and maybe that will change their mind, because in my opinion Brazil is a very nice place to host a World Cup because of all of their football tradition and the whole atmosphere. Also, if you look closely, this group is very similar to their last group in 2018 in Russia, because they were also playing versus Switzerland and Serbia. And in my opinion, those teams will be playing for the second place in this group.
And as the next team that we're gonna look into, let's take one of them, so Serbia. And Serbia, unlike a lot of other generations, now has really good strikers. Really 2 good world-class strikers that are scoring a lot of goals in their domestic championships and also for the national team. In previous generations, they had some great defenders like Ivanovic, like Vidic, like Kolarov, like Krstajic, who were playing really great defense, but now they are actually struggling in the defensive department. So they are trying to counter that with good attackers and with different tactics. So their new coach Stojkovic transformed the tactics into a 5-back with wingbacks, and they are constantly attacking with a lot of players and defending with 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, you've mentioned so many great players from Serbia, but in this year's World Cup, I will focus on Milenkovic Savic, the 7 years player for Lazio. And even though he isn't as much of an attacking player, he scored over 50 goals for this club. And yeah, 4 years ago, Serbia also played versus Switzerland and lost that match in 19th minute after Shaqiri scored a very nice goal. So I think let's now focus on their opponent.
Exactly. So that match is still fresh in the minds of a lot of fans in Serbia because of the way how they lost it, about the potential penalty call on Mitrovic and the fact that their center back refused to take out the attacker, so they conceded a goal in the 90th minute and went out of the championship like that. When it comes to Switzerland, they are pretty much the same team they were in recent years. Not a lot of people missing, but some of those people are now getting pretty old. So for example, Shaqiri is now playing in MLS, and as we pretty much know, that is the official sign of pre-retirement. They still have a lot of decent players. They have 2 great goalkeepers, 2 great center backs, especially Akanji is impressive for Manchester City this year. And also Zakaria and Xhaka are playing good Premier League football. Where they might struggle are attackers, though Embolo is now in Monaco and scoring both internationally and in their domestic championship. So Patrick, still, who would you say that is the biggest star for Switzerland?
You have already mentioned that player, because for me it will be, of course, Xherdan Shaqiri. And just to mention, in every big tournament that he's been playing, he very liked to score not like the usual goals, but score something bigger, like something special. Just to mention, round of 16 of Euro 2016 versus Poland, he scored, I think, the most wonderful goal of that tournament, and I really expect him to do something similar in this World Cup, because he has a good rival, which is Brazil, but also rivals on their level to try something unusual one last time.
And as already said, they pretty much have the same team from recent tournaments. That's why they don't have any outstanding young players in the team. Let us move on to Cameroon.
After 8 years of waiting, Cameroon is finally back on the World Cup stage. Even though they've been playing here for the 7 times, they only managed 1 time to go through to the knockout phase in 1990, in which they almost went to the semi-finals of that tournament. Rest of the World Cups, they ended on the group stage.
In that World Championship, the world for the first time saw the magic of Roger Mila. And in the later World Championships, they had Samuel Eto'o. So, as they always had the strikers as their best players, that is the case for this championship. So, as their biggest star, I will point out another striker, and that is Eric Choupo-Moting from Bayern Munich. After having a decent start as a young player for Mainz, he has been struggling for, more than a decade in both Bundesliga for Schalke, for Stoke in Premier League, for PSG in Ligue 1, and after 2 mediocre seasons in Bayern Munich, this season he has managed to score 6 goals in 10 games in Bundesliga and further 3 goals in 4 matches in Champions League for Bayern. So these are stats that are pretty admirable because they are not in some low-tier club, but for one of the best clubs in the world.
And I guess that will be it for this group, so let's focus now on our predictions. In my opinion, Brazil will take the first place and Switzerland will go also out from the second place. And I think Serbia will be on the third place. As much as I also like Cameroon and all of the African teams, I'm not giving them many chances also this year.
Yeah, I will definitely agree with you that Brazil will be top of the group. And when it comes to the second place, I am still not sure who would I pick as favorites because both Serbia star strikers Mitrovic and Vlahovic have been struggling with injuries lately. And if they're not 100% fit and ready, I will then say it's Switzerland. But if it's the other way around, I think that maybe they have a good chance to take a revenge for Russia 2018 and to come out of groups as second placed. And yeah, definitely I would agree also when it comes to fourth place because Cameroon just simply doesn't have enough quality players that have been playing on a high level to give them any big chances to qualify for the second round. And the maximum I can see out of them is just maybe having one draw against someone if they have a bad game.
So guys, that will be it for the Group G. With me was Serjan, my name is Patrick, and thank you guys for listening, watching and being with us through all of this time. Please also remember to leave a like, share and subscribe. Also leave a comment about your predictions. Maybe you think Cameroon will win this group. You never know. We never know. We will see. But we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Thank you guys and bye.